There's a jolly man in a red sweater that was quoted as saying this, I think everybody longs to be loved and longs to know that he or she is lovable. And consequently, the greatest thing we can do is to help somebody know they're loved and capable of loving. Do you know who said that? It was not Santa Claus. That was the other famous red sweater wearing man known as Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers had a TV show, obviously you probably know about that, and he was a guy who was dedicated to the love of Christ and showing it to people around him. And I think this quote really sums up why we should love people, because it lets them know that they are loved and that they're capable of loving. See, when we only show hate to our enemies, that shows that they're to them, the response, the thing that they're going to receive is that the only thing they're worthy of is hatred. And maybe we don't understand all of the things that are going through their lives. We don't know what's happened to them in that morning. Perhaps they stubbed their toe. Perhaps they're wearing a sock with a hole at the edge of the toe so their toe keeps slipping through. Who knows? I mean, you just never know what somebody might be going through. And so your act of kindness, your act of agape style of love could make all the difference in the world. That person cut you off in traffic. Well, how do we agape love that person? That person yelled at you at the grocery store because you're not wearing your mask properly or you got too close to them. What are they going through in their life? See, once they know that they're lovable and capable of loving, boy, that changes the entire attitude, doesn't it? So I want to say thanks to Mr. Rogers. This was something that I put in the leftovers because I didn't have time for it in the message. How do we do this agape kind of love? We talked a little bit about, well, a lot of it, because we spent a lot of time in it, about what this kind of love looks like, but we didn't really get into too much of the detail of how do we do this love? What are the things that we can do to make an impact in the world around us? And I think we've shared this before. If we haven't, then I apologize, and we're sharing it now. But the idea is to, this agape kind of love means that we are seeking to understand rather than to be understood. It's so selfless that we're seeking to understand, ooh, my chair squeaked, seeking to understand rather than being, trying to be understood. So in every situation, am I seeking to understand that person at the grocery store? Am I seeking to understand their situation, or am I seeking to be understood? Do I want to stand on my own platform and my own pedestal and spout out the things that are important to me? Or am I seeking to understand? There's this posture of humility that comes with agape kind of love. And I think when we looked at like the life of Mr. Rogers, good old Fred, you see a life of humility. And now we don't know everything about Mr. Rogers. I'm sure he wasn't perfect. So for that, we look at Jesus. But Jesus does say, well, actually, Paul says it, that as he follows Christ, follow him as he follows Christ. And so we have an opportunity to look at the people around us in the world who have made huge impacts and say, okay, what did they do different? How do they do this? From a human perspective, how are they able to show love in this scenario, and how can I replicate that? And obviously our ultimate example is Jesus Christ. We look to him not only for inspiration and hope and just to see what he did, but in examples, but he is why we have agape love. He is the reason we show agape love. It's not just for the example and trying to live a good life like he did. No, he lived a perfect life. He lived a sinless life, and he died on the cross for us so that we can share in this agape love. And it's a beautiful thing. And so that's what I wanted to share with the leftovers. I did an hour-long message or so, and so I'm keeping this leftovers short, but I just want to close by saying that you've made this day special just by being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. This is the part where I would sing as I walk out the door, but I'm not going to do that. Thank you for joining the leftovers. We'll see you, guys. We'll see you Thursday night. Everyone else, we'll see you on Saturday evening for the COVID caroling, and then we'll see you digitally on Sunday, and then we will see you for sure Christmas Eve outdoors, 4:30 to 6 p.m. at Right Brain Brewery on the patio before you enter in. Bye.